relics of me behind the barrier. Back then, we cheeked our way in everywhere, with or without the laminate or an access all areas pass. We sometimes even hid them just to keep our hand in. Blagging was part of the fun. I'd watched from the wings as Queen performed at Wembley for Live Aid the previous year. I wouldn't get a look in today, and was invited along to a string of destinations on the Magic Tour in 1986. In Budapest, I would attend a private reception in the band's honour at the British Embassy, and would witness their historic Hungarian show behind the Iron Curtain, which was perhaps their greatest live moment ever. Well, I like to think that I blended in, just another skinny 20-something freckle face who loved rock and roll. What always surprised me was how much slighter Freddie was than you remembered him. Perhaps it was the diet of nicotine, vodka, wine, cocaine, little appetite for food, and being hyped up as a performer. He was so larger than life up there on stage that you expected him to be imposing in real life. Well, he wasn't. On the contrary, he seemed quite small and endearingly boyish. You wanted to mother him, all the girls did. He aroused the same instincts as Culture Club's androgynous boy George, who became the housewife's favourite after confessing, if disingenuously, that he preferred a nice cup of tea to sex. In the White Horse, Freddie was looking around, eyebrows raised, murmuring "Siggy" in that distinctively clipped and faintly camp voice of his. It struck me that night what a tangle of contradictions he was, that he could be as humble and unassuming away from the stage as he could be arrogant on it. Later on, I heard him mutter "pee-pee" in a childlike tone, and I watched, fascinated, as one of his number toddled him off to the gents. Well, that was it. I fell for him completely. I wanted to take him home, stick him in a hot bath, and get my mum to cook him a roast. Thinking about it now, it couldn't have been that the big-shot rock star was so helpless that he was unable to go to the John alone. Freddie would have been the most vulnerable of targets in a toilet. Roger Taverner, the express guy, offered him a Marlboro Red. Freddie wavered before accepting. He'd have preferred a silk cut. He watched us from his pitch with vague interest as we sparred with the barflies, and perhaps because we didn't pay him too much attention, he came back for another fag. Where were we staying then? The Montreux Palace. Right answer. Freddie had lived there. He'd had his own suite. He and Queen owned Mountain Studios, the only recording complex in this dignified Swiss resort. Mountain was reckoned at the time to be the best in Europe. It was his round now. More of whatever it was we'd had before.
You obviously know who I am,
he said after an hour or so, a flicker of recognition in his ebony eyes. Well, obviously, he was what we were there for. A few vodka tonics earlier, he might have figured our names. Dispatched by newspaper editors to attend the annual Entertainment TV Festival and Golden Rose Awards, the Rose d'Or was at its peak in Montreux in May 1986. We also covered its sidekick, a widely televised rock gala that was a thinly disguised excuse for the media to misbehave. We thought he wouldn't want to be bothered, but he was the one who seemed keen to talk. He didn't care for hacks as a rule. Having been ridiculed and misquoted in the past, he trusted few of us. David Wigg, at that time the Daily Express show business editor and also in town, was a good friend of Freddie's. More often than not, it was he who got the scoop. We were getting too close, throwing away, we knew, the chance of an official interview. Come morning, Freddie would have sussed us. More to the point, his management and the publicists would have too. Having overstepped the mark, as they'd perceive it, we'd probably never get near him again. This was his bar, his territory. Even so, he seemed vulnerable and edgy, far removed from the star we thought we knew.
That's why I'm here. This is only 2 hours from London, but I can breathe here, and I can think and write and record and go for a walk, and I think I'm going to need it these next few years.
We sympathised. We joined in about the pain of fame. His problem, not ours. We were keeping a lid on it and trying to be cool. Willing the killer instinct to subside, the one that would have had us flying at the phone to call our news editors with the scoop of the year that we had rock's most sought-after showman cornered in a foreign booth.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.